Hi, I'm really not sure how to begin this video, but I guess it's okay. My name is Amira, and this is my first ever video sitting here like this in front of the camera, talking about some subjects that are really close to my heart, that matters to me, and maybe these are topics that certain people, anyone can relate to, would have loved to hear this. Whoever felt like their voice was not welcome, their voice was silenced. Maybe you were told that you were too sensitive, or you're too loud, or you're too quiet. Maybe people only liked you when you stayed small, or when you didn't question, when you didn't want too much. Whether it comes from friends, whether it comes from family, whether it comes from relatives, your workspace, your loved one, this feeling people liking you only when you stayed small, having to shrink yourself just to belong, it eats you, and you start wondering, do I have to be less to be loved? And to keep the peace, to keep my friends around, to keep that love around. And this is my video, my way of saying no, you don't. No, you don't have to lessen from yourself. No, you don't have to shrink yourself to be loved. If you have ever felt invisible in a room full of people, if you have been the one who gives just to keep others close, if you have been judged for growing up, for changing, for speaking up, then I hope that this space is for you. I have my notes right here, so I'll be like looking up and down, so please bear with me. I want this space just to be like we're friends sitting down, or maybe your oldest sister just yapping. Some people, like, we grow up in certain families, in certain cultures, societies, where we are taught to keep things in, but it was never direct. Like, it was never like, hey, don't speak. But we just learn it anyways. Like, growing up, our subconsciousness picking up certain things that it just clicks. I shouldn't say it. Maybe I'm being too much. If I say this, am I gonna be judged for it? Or we say something, people be like, not now. Our voice is too loud, or our feelings are too much, or don't argue, respect your elders. What would you know? You're too young. Even what's being said, it hurts. Especially if you're a woman, if you're a girl who starts growing up, it gets heavier. I'm speaking from a point of view of a woman, but it can apply to certain men too. Suddenly, our body changes and people change around us. We're not that little girl, that little boy anymore. So now people around us are uncomfortable. Maybe an uncle says, I can't take her out anymore. I can take her to the beach. She's grown. Or a neighbor in your neighborhood, you go out to play and people start looking at you differently. You start shrinking, covering up, not because you want to, but because suddenly being seen feels wrong. You are used to that image, people liking you in that image of you, like the old image. So now changing feels wrong. People will think that I have changed, people wouldn't like me anymore. And it's not like you start wondering, why am I feeling these things? I don't want to feel these things. But as I said, sometimes you are programmed in your subconsciousness to feel these things. It's just there. Even when you try, you do your best, it's just there. But it doesn't mean that you can't outgrow that. And it continues. We grow up, we arrive to a certain age, we try to speak our truth, we're told too sensitive. You try to dress up, feel pretty, put some mascara, put some gloss, put some skincare. What's wrong with being natural? You used to be so simple. These are words you can hear. Or every time you pick a lipstick now, fix your hair, there's always this voice, am I doing too much? Because, as I told you, you were used to hearing this, you're nice like this, why do you have to put makeup, why do you have to change? Of course, if you don't want to put makeup, If you want to put makeup, it's totally up to you too. Everyone has their own preferences. Now, when I think I want to do something and I feel like this voice saying, am I doing too much? It's not because I don't love myself, but because they made me doubt my right to change. When we try to make boundaries, it is called an attitude. When we say no to something, we are being ungrateful. We're not the same anymore. People are like, but you were okay with this. Or they suddenly, not even they tell you something, you say no, they suddenly don't like you anymore. They pull away from you. It's not because those people that they were benefiting from you saying always yes, from you being too kind. And there's a saying in Algeria, where I'm from, it like saying people get on top of your head. It's like you're being too kind to them and always, but it's just like in your natural, like in you, like just being kind to people, but people take your kindness for granted. They just like sit up on top of your head. So it feels like I have to earn being loved by being quiet, not asking too much, giving more than I receive, giving more than what I have. Always like having to keep that peace just to have that love, just to have that friends, just to make people love me. I want to tell you something. Maybe no one told you, maybe you have heard this before, you have forgotten. You are allowed to be seen, you are allowed to take that space and not shrink yourself. You're allowed to grow, to shift, to have opinions, to love yourself loudly. You're not here to stay the same forever just so that people feel comfortable around you. If wearing makeup makes you feel confident, do it. If dressing up makes you feel alive, do it. If saying no protects your peace, say it. You don't owe anyone that smaller version of you, because if you shrink yourself, when you start to show a little bit of yourself, stand up for yourself, and people, as I said, don't like it, these are not your people. You were taught to shrink, to talk softer, to take less space, to make others happy first. But listen, baby, you are not small. You never were. We have just learned to survive in a world that could not handle our light. And I don't know who needed to hear this, but if it's you, I want you to know that you are not alone. You're allowed to take your space back. I always think, what would my younger version say? Would she ever feel safe around me? She would have loved someone to stand up for her, to love her just the way she is. And I keep saying yes to everything just to keep the peace, to keep the people around me. Then I'm disappointed in that younger version of me. I hope something I said felt like true to you, even if it's a truth you have been scared to say out loud. You are allowed to grow, to speak, and to change, and to want more. I hope that this video is just like a 0.1% to push you forward to grow up and to be a better version of yourself. I'll be here every weekend sharing some stuff and yapping about some stuff. So if you want to grow with me, please, you're welcome. If you want to unlearn and find your voice again, you're always welcome here. Please leave a comment, share what's on your heart, and we're all figuring out this together. Thank you so much for lending me your ear, and bye.